This United Rentals 300 Betting Picks 2026 edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Kalshi. Make real money predicting sports. Kalshi is available in all 50 states, and you get $20 free with promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, promo code SGPN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Lord, I want to thank you for Jimmy Johnson. Welcome into another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. I only say that because we are live right now on a Wednesday evening, and it is qualifying going on right as and just as we got on, Cody. This is why fate is so fantastic. As the intro was rolling, Jimmy Johnson's on my screen, so I can think of no better way to begin an episode than by watching my man just completely, well, maybe not lay down the hottest lap in the world, but whatever. Anyways, he's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Gomez. Welcome in, everybody.
Good thing he took that provisional, because he would have not gotten on speed tonight. So there's that. But yeah, we get to sweat out the qualifying bets while we talk O'Reilly Auto Parts Series for the first time ever, I guess, since it's the first time it's been O'Reilly. But, formerly known, the artist formerly known as the Xfinity Series, now the OAP, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
Oh, wow. Who's calling it the ORAP? Is it ORAP or OAP?
Yeah, OAP, like OAP, OAP. I've heard that a few times. I don't know if it's going to stick, but maybe. We'll see. We'll just go with O'Reilly for now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if I can get my hands around that one, but I will call it O'Reilly. And yes, you're right. The first official O'Reilly Auto Parts Series episode of the season and ever existed. It's the United Rentals 300. It is, of course, from the Daytona International Speedway. Speed week's already underway. Cody, we had practice this morning, and I mean, there's a lot of people that didn't even want to get out on the track for practice, believe it or not. But they did.
Yeah.
A couple of laps in, and
there was a couple that didn't even start. I think there was two. I saw Todd Gilliland didn't start, and I think there was one other car that didn't even run any laps. But hard to learn much from it. I mean, I don't think the most anybody ran was 10 laps. You don't know if they're drafting during their times. Like, great to see the cars out there. It's good. They need the shakedown, right? Like, let's make sure nothing's blowing up so we don't embarrass ourselves in qualifying tonight. But yeah, I think that nothing to really take away from it, but great to see the cars back out there. Great to be rolling. And tonight, Wednesday, obviously, starts our 5 days in a row of racing action to bet on.
Or if you're Ryan Blaney, you don't want all that paint blowing into your car. I saw that was something that was going on in his car. All the speckles of whatever was blowing into his car, and it was annoying the hell out of him. And I thought, man, first world problems first and foremost.
Talk about first world problems.
I hate that the paint particles are blowing into my car.
It's a rough day at the office, Rod.
It is a rough day at the office. Hopefully it won't be a rough day for him in qualifying. Obviously, we'll update you as the qualifying efforts continue on this show. But if you're listening to this the day after, or if you're even listening to this later tonight, obviously you'll know the way that it all shakes out. but we'll still keep you updated as we go along. I also want to take this opportunity to remind you, Cody, and this is a big deal, right? Because the Daytona 500 is this weekend, and we, of course, are hooking you up, giving away $100 cash and a $100 SGPN gift card. Enter for free at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Daytona. Cody, explain to us how this contest works and what they have to do to get in.
Pretty simple. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NASCAR contest. You can go over there, fill out the form. All you're doing is picking the race winner. It's as simple as that. Any ties will be broken on the live recap show, which, of course, if you're just joining us for the first time or just getting into this season, we are going to have live recap shows every single week, and we'll be taking your calls on those, but we'll break ties on that. $100 cash, like you said, $100 gift card to the merch store where you can get the Race Officials or Terrorist shirts. And we're going to be giving out a few random Race Officials or Terrorist shirts as well.
Indeed,
and
yeah. So a lot of fun. Oh, Cody.
Bonus. But wait, there's more. I was just on the Sports Gambling Podcast, and Kramer added most creative or best comment on the Spotify comments between now and when we do the recap show. We get to pick, each of us get to pick our favorite comment on Spotify, and they get a shirt as well.
Oh, I absolutely love it. Ooh, you guys got to come creative, because Cody and I are not going to settle for just anything. No. We're gonna make it all
good. Better mention Carson Hocevar being the winner. Okay, just not a requirement, but yeah, that's a lot of fun.
I just had to shut you out. Win the Race. We are partnered with Win the Race. Ryan and Greg over there doing fantastic work. Tell you what, I've never known the value of having to simulate a race 1,000 times until it happened. And I got to tell you, it's a whole different world to me now. I'm looking at the race a hell of a lot different than I ever did. So make sure you get over to Win the Race, join them, go take advantage of all the stuff they've got, all the tools they've got over there. I mean, again, like I said, it's a whole new world of analytics, and I am so happy to be in it. And we are so happy to be partnered with them all season long, Cody. It's just, it made sense.
Yeah, ton of great stuff over there. When Ryan reached out to us, just made way too much sense, and great partnership to have.
Indeed. JDK checking in saying, evening, fellas. Evening, JDK.
Hey,
are you ready to talk O'Reilly? I think he is. I know he's always ready to talk.
I think he is. We do have one big piece of news. I would say this is a fairly big piece of news, Rod, that just broke moments ago. One, Kyle Larson, the two-time defending champion of the series, was set to be a free agent after this season, Rod. Silly season not getting started just yet. He's been locked down for a multi-year extension, along with HendrickCars.com. Rick was able to keep that partnership rolling, keep that company involved, so that's great to see. And they signed Cliff Daniels to the same contract, so they're going to keep this championship duo going down the road for a few years to come.
I've been watching the rise of the Niners, right? And I, get emotional thinking about it, because that's just my childhood right there, the 80s Niners. The letting Kyle Larson go would be the equivalent of when the Niners let Joe Montana walk. Now, granted, I get it. It's a little different part of his career, but Joe Montana, I still feel like could have had a couple more Super Bowls in him. So I'm not surprised that Hendrick is locking him down, because you just don't let the guy who is the top of the sport, or like Michael Jordan, like letting him walk out to play baseball. You don't do that kind of stuff. And if history repeats itself continually, then you're not learning from it. So good job, Mr. H, for keeping the champion in the door and keeping that team together, because God, man, you just don't let those guys walk. You pay whatever you have to keep them in.
Yeah, just such a no-brainer. I mean, he's clearly the best driver, right? And that's the best equipment. There's no reason to break that up. Him and Cliff obviously work very well together. They've now won 2 titles. They've won, so many races together. There's no reason in the prime of his career to let that go. Mr. H with the HendrickCars.com, that's, when they brought Larson in, it was right after he was suspended for the controversial stuff. And, partnership, sponsorship was a question. Mr. H decided to throw Hendrick Cars on there, and it's been great for that business. He's talked about the returns just being more than worth it for putting his name on that car, but they've extended that out to the dirt world. He sponsors Larson's sprint cars when he's in that, and all sorts of other things in that world as well. So, it's all just a great partnership all around. He's the best driver on the best team. It just makes too much sense. You see these teams like Dallas trading away Luka, or, the Bucks were talking about getting rid of Giannis, and you're just like, why would you not do everything you could to hold on to these best in their generation players? and this has just made sense. So we never thought that Larson was going to go anywhere else, but shoring it up before we even get to the Daytona 500, great move for all parties, and that makes two great drivers getting contract extensions this week, Rod. Kyle Larson and Carson Hocevar.
Oh my God. Frank the Tank checking in saying, listen, live.
Speaking of which, Hocevar's on the track right now.
Finally gonna get home at a good time to watch the qualifying and LFG for Frank the Tank. Who was it? Was it Rowdy that asked in the Discord why my extreme dislike for Carson Hocevar? I think you absolutely had it right, Cody. I think you've hyped him and Gibbs up so much. Well, I have to think about it. Yeah, you might have been Frank. Actually, it's true. But only because there's the antithesis, right? There's the super good, and then the super. I have to be the other side of it. I have to bring it back down into the middle because you're so up here that I got to be down here in order. If I ever do have a conversation with him, which probably will never happen anyways, I'll just be like, listen, man, it's nothing personal. It's just now it's a bit on the show. You may win me over one day, but maybe not today.
You got to lean into some things sometimes. It's like Captain Shook last year. I mean, it was too great. We had to lean into it. Had to do it. So Hocevar better step it up a little bit here. He's just barely hanging on to the top 10, which is not going to be good enough to keep him in the top 10. So we'll see.
He's not pulling away from Ty Dillon right now, I'll tell you. And John Little even recognizes that your boy's on the track right now too. So, all right. It is the United Reynolds 300, and we're going to talk all about it, but let's set this race up real quick before we head to break and start laying down some of the bets. We are set for 120 laps around this 2.500 mile paved track for 300 even miles around the Daytona International Speedway in Daytona, Florida. Yep, Cody, this is, again, the first official race under the new banner. It's a stacked field, as it always will be for the rest of the Xfinity series. Swear jar. The O'Reilly.
First one already.
Damn it. But yeah, I mean, this is a packed field, and there's going to be even more packed because people are trying to get in to this race as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got 42 entries for 40 starting spots. So it is notable 2 of these drivers will go home. I do not have the crazy formula that we know which drivers are in and which drivers are out. So you're going to just have to keep an eye on that on your own. But notable entries going into this one, Luke Fenhouse. We've seen him in the Truck Series quite a bit. He's going to be in the number 5 car. Gio Ruggiero, one of our favorite Truck Series drivers. He is jumping up into this O'Reilly ride in the number 19 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. Of course, the 19 car is Brent Cruz's ride, but Cruz not being old enough to drive some of these races as he doesn't turn 18 until March sometime. So Ruggiero checking into that one right away. Nick Sanchez, he ended up getting his full-time ride. I don't remember if we ended up talking about that, but that's going to be with the 25 with the AM Racing. They initially had sold that team. Now they haven't sold that team. So they've returned, and they're going to continue to be running Ford. So Nick Sanchez is going to run in that one full-time. Carson Ware, Cody's little brother, he's going to be back in the 30 car. Jordan Anderson, we'll be talking about him some tonight. He's going to be in the 32 car for Jordan Anderson Racing, of all people. Natalie Decker, she's going to be making another attempt at a Daytona race here in the 35 car. We got Patrick Emmerling in the 38 car. Carson Hocevar, Rod, the GOAT, he is going to be in the 42 car for the 42 car for Young's Motorsports. It's actually a pretty decent car. We'll be talking about him tonight. The good doctor, Patrick Starpoli, he's going to be in the 48. Daniel Dye is in the 52. David Starr, notably in the 53 car. And yeah, I think that wraps up the notable entries along with all the other regulars and people that we're pretty used to.
You know, it's funny. You look down this list and Ford is woefully underrepresented on this. There are just, everybody's a Chevy now. Everybody's a Chevy with like 3 Toyota exceptions.
Yeah. And so not even, Caesars was offering a top Ford market, but it had drivers like Sam Mayer, Ryan Sieg, all drivers who are no longer in Ford. So they quickly put that down. But not even a top Ford market because there's only a couple in the field. I mean, Ford, very underrepresented in the O'Reilly series, which is a little disappointing. The biggest teams, Sam Hunt or SHR, which is now just Haas, they jumped ship over to Chevrolet. The Sieg brothers went with them. Everybody kind of fled. Viking Motorsports left Ford. They went over there as well. So a bit unfortunate that there's not many Fords, but there is a lot of Chevys and a handful of Toyotas, which is also notable because we'll talk about that in a little bit.
should have called this the Chevy Auto Parts series, because I feel like that's where we were leaning. But yeah, listen, I'm sure there's some side wagers on this. We should find a way to make sure that we get a top Ford out there, because that's true. DGen is trying to pick which one of these Fords actually has a shot at being the top, because one of them has to be, right?
Well,
I mean, one of them has to be the top Ford.
Talk about where you could finish in this. I mean, so Daniel Dye is in a Ford. Actually, the entry list isn't even right. Half of these guys aren't even in Fords. I think Daniel Dye and Sanchez are the only two Fords.
And Clement, I'm sorry, Fenhouse. So those are the three. The three Fords.
So those are 3 Fords. Wow, that's crazy.
See? That's a group bet right there. I absolutely love that. I'm taking Dye over Sanchez. Look at this, a head-to-head then. A Dye over Sanchez is what I'm taking. I know it's not in here, but I'll take it.
Noah Gregson, by the way, time disallowed. He violated the new no hand out the window rule. So he'll be starting at the back of, I would imagine, 45. So he'll probably be starting at the back of the first duel and have to qualify. Well, he's already qualified in, but set his starting spot through the duel.
He just had a fly on his hand. He was trying to get out. He was like, there's a bee on my hand.
Paint
bee.
He was just trying to get rid of the paint.
Yeah. See. Oh, yeah. See, that's feasible. I like that. All right. Let's talk about the United Rental Center. Oh, TK. Sanchez can improve AM. Seems like better driver than Burton.
I don't think he's a better driver than Burton. I think Burton doesn't get enough credit for as good of a driver as he is. I know it didn't work out in the Cup Series, but he's a pretty good driver. Sanchez is a fine driver. I think they'll probably continue to be fine. How much is Ford actually even doing in this series now, since they don't have any cars? We'll see. They're the only Ford team, so if Ford is doing anything, they're going to have all of it. We'll see how that works, I guess.
The full might of Ford may not be that mighty anymore, but we'll find out for sure.
I mean, it's tough to find some drafting partners this weekend.
Yeah, well, you may have to call up the
3 Fords all drafting together.
They all pit together and they literally just get lapped. It's not even funny, but yeah. All right. We'll talk all about that. But first, let's tell you about our friends over at Kalshi. Kalshi, a real money prediction market, legal in all 50 states. Kalshi has a ton of trading options for your favorite sports and besides sports. They've got tons of other markets, including politics, entertainment, hell. You can even trade on the weather with Kalshi. You can trade on anything. I implore you, go to Kalshi.com and actually look around at everything they've got. It's immense. It'll make you absolutely, your eyes will bleed, and it'll be so much fun. But one of the more important things they've got, Survivor 50, starting February 25th on CBS. I am going to be watching. I'll have my popcorn ready as the most important Survivor season kicks off, and you can trade on the winner of that season. RizGod still at 3 cents to win this. So you can trade 3 cents on the dollar. $10 investment will bring you back $334 when the RizGod ends up winning Survivor 50. So I am all over that. Make sure you go over there, check out everything that Kalshi has to offer. And if you're a new customer, you get $20 when you use the promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, Kalshi, promo code SGPN. Tell you about our friends over at Rebet. We're also brought to you by Rebet. Rebet, the #1 social sportsbook and casino in the entire galaxy. It's available in 35 states, including Texas and California. Get in on the action with Rebet. Plus, get a 100% purchase match up to $100. That's promo code SGPN. Rebet, promo code SGPN. So the other day I brought up the RizGod. Obviously, he calls himself the RizGod. If ever watched Survivor, that's his name for himself. And then I brought up the Quad God. We missed the Quad God on Underdog. I was a little sad. He did not get up to 112 in that one. But dude, I've been watching, off and on Olympics, but that figure skating has come a long way since I was a kid, and they were touting the new triple axel, right? And now we're talking about quad loops and backflips, and this is not your grandparents' figure skating anymore.
Yeah, I don't think they were injecting things into their penis to be better at skiing back then either. So we've come a long ways.
Can you imagine? Like, that is the aerodynamic advantage that you get. Like,
they had
your crotch?
Yeah, when I was on the Sports Gambling Podcast earlier this evening, they had Adam on before me, Adam Pelletier, our site editor for the sportsgamblingpodcast.com, but he's been doing an Olympic podcast on the SGPN feed, and they were talking about that. But just like for somebody to have thought to themselves or to figure it out, like, hey, if we inject this in here, it will increase this. Like the minds of some people and how they work is just crazy.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's
right.
That's about
Speaking
what
of that, let's talk about some O'Reilly series, Rod.
Indeed. Let's talk about some O'Reilly series. All right. So we set the field, we set the race up for you. We've got bets, my friend. Lots and lots of bets on the menu for you this evening, Cody. Where are our appetizers? What are our appetizers, I guess?
Yes, going to start with a head-to-head that I absolutely love. You can get Jesse Love over Austin Hill, plus 125 over on Bet365. Now, the O'Reilly series is a little different from the Cup series. Yes, anybody can still win. Don't worry, I have a 250-1 outright in the outright section. We'll get there. But it tends to be a little more chalky on the drafting tracks. O'Reilly over all these series, over the Truck series and over the Cup series, just seems to be less of the chaos, and the cream rises to the top more. And the cream is Austin Hill and Jesse Love, and those RCR cars just are hooked up every time we come to these tracks. And so Austin Hill, a heavy favorite in this race, much shorter than you'll see anybody in any of the other series. And you look at it and you think, well, I can't fade Austin Hill. But actually you can, Rod. And doing it with his teammate is the way to do it, because Jesse's been just as good, actually better, than Austin has lately outside of Atlanta, where that's where Austin's been amazing. So Atlanta, when we go there next week, it's going to be the Austin Hill show. That's just how it is. I mean, he's won 5 of the last 6 races at Atlanta, drafting track, like unstoppable there. So don't factor that into this, but it's been different outside of this. Plus 125 over on Bet365, crazy number. You can get plus money as well on Caesars if you don't have Bet365, but bigger number on 365, so we'll take that. You go back, you look at what have they done for you. In the fall race here for the Xfinity Series at the time, Jesse Love, 4th place. Austin Hill, 25th. Last spring, Jesse Love won this race while Austin Hill finished in 33rd. The previous fall race, 21st for Jesse Love, not that great, but it was better than Austin Hill, who finished in 31st. And Love, in his first career start at Daytona, was 20th, where Austin Hill did win that race, so he got the better of him. But the last 3 in a row at Daytona have gone the way of Jesse Love, and only 4 starts. That's all he has. And prior to that, a 23rd for Austin Hill before that. Now he did win another one going back, and then 14th place. So it's been a mixed bag, but the last 3 races in particular have been bad for Austin Hill. Now he's going to look good throughout the race. We're going to note at times throughout the race that he has the fastest car, that he looks the best. So, there is that. I believe Corey Heim just qualified into the Daytona 500. Yeah. He's locked himself in with only Corey LaJoie left to go for the open car. So that's fun. Sorry, got distracted. Squirrel? Oh. But then you go to Talladega, and it's been the same story. 10th place in the fall race there for Jesse Love, 25th for Austin Hill. Talladega spring race, 3rd place for Jesse Love. All great finishes. 33rd for Austin Hill. And then 6th place in the fall a couple of years ago at Talladega for Jesse Love, 31st for Austin Hill. So if you look back, essentially, here's Austin Hill's finishes at the last few Daytona and Talladega races. 25th, 33rd, 31st, 25th, 33rd, 31st. No good finishes in the last 6 Daytona Talladega races. Love, on the other hand, 4-1, 21, 10, 3, 6. A lot better finishes. He should not be plus 125 to his teammate. And the reason it's priced that way is because you just set him up and you think Austin Hill, the GOAT of super speedways and Xfinity throughout these years, all that stuff. But it's not been the case outside of Atlanta. Atlanta, clear outlier in this. He's won 5 of the 6 there. And it does race slightly different, but Daytona, Talladega, it's been different. Give me Love over Hill, plus 125 on Bet365. I think this is a great number.
This is one where if we gave out confidence ratings, if we gave out unit ratings, I would probably throw every unit I had at this one, because I looked at this one before you and TK. This is probably why other drivers are more willing to work with Love, whereas they tolerate Hill until they find a way to get away from it. And you see that every single Daytona, every single Talladega. I don't know how it is that he can get away with it at Atlanta. I know it's a little bit of a different track and different setup.
I think the closer quarters just makes it to where nobody can get around him, but people are just less willing to work with him, because if you help him get to the front, he's going to win. And Love is probably getting closer to that, where we might start seeing them shuffle him out, but people are much less. If you have a choice to work with anybody or Austin Hill, depending on how you think about it, Austin Hill's going to get you to the front, but you don't want to help him get to the front because then you have no shot. So we've certainly seen him left hung out to dry more often than not. Now, a lot of those finishes are because he gets caught up in crashes, because that happens, and that's part of it. But Love has clearly been on the better side a majority between Daytona and Talladega over the last 6 races.
Yeah, and again, to me, it's just Austin Hill on those other tracks. People will just leave him out, and you've seen it. You've seen them intentionally link up with people that they probably would never link up with in their life just to leave Austin Hill out in the dust. So
he also did not make a lot of friends last year.
No, in fact, he did not get a lot of Christmas cards when he, finished the season off. But listen, man, maybe he makes a turnaround, right? I don't know. I'm a guy who does like to give people the benefit of the doubt if they deserve it. I have to qualify that, so we'll see.
And I wouldn't be shocked to see Austin Hill go out and win this race. He's clearly the best super speedway racer, I think, in the O'Reilly series, and he's clearly the RCR cars have obviously a much better advantage than anybody else in the field for whatever reason. They have this car figured out in particular. Now, it's an old Cup cars, so that makes a lot of sense because they were obviously very good for years in the Cup Series. But so I wouldn't be shocked. But you're putting these two guys against each other. It's clearly gone Love's way. You're getting plus 125. All of it says bet Love in this matchup.
Indeed. All right. I'm going to go with a matchup for me on the appetizer menu. If I were to read off the following stats to you, and I'm just going to read them off real quick, right? Average finish of 21.4 at the Daytona International Speedway versus a driver with an average finish 10 spots better at 14.7. Driver A has one top 10 finish in 7 starts, one top 5 finish in 7 starts on this track. Driver B has made 30 starts on this track, has 15 top 10s, 9 top 5s, and a win. Which side? Actually, first and foremost, I know which side you take. You take driver B because driver B's got a much, much better track record on this one. But what if I threw the incentive that driver B is only minus 120 to accomplish this task? That sounds like when you read those stats out loud, this driver B should be at minus 350 to accomplish beating driver A in this particular race. However, driver A just happens to be Sammy Smith. Driver B happens to be Justin Allgaier. I know super speedways make a lot of things equal, but come on, man. Sammy Smith has only had one top 5 finish. That was the runner-up finish in the fall race of last year. But before that, 24th, 23rd, 23rd, 21st, 19th, 38th. There's a little vomit that comes up in your mouth when you read numbers like that. And I don't know, again, to me, that is a pattern that got broken last week, but that's the outlier, right? That's the one thing that happens that makes you go, all right, well, you got to throw that finding out because that was the one time in 20 that the coin landed straight down the middle and didn't pick heads or tails. So you're like, well, that's not going to happen statistically again, right? And for Sammy Smith, it's kind of the same thing. He's not good at Daytona right now, and I don't know what that is. I don't know what fixed it, but last year in the fall, but Daytona in the spring has not been his favorite race at all. Whereas Justin Allgaier, if you go back to 2021 in this particular track, it was the fall race of 2021 where he finished 3rd, then finished 5th, 13th, 3rd, 1st, 8th, 7th, 18th, and 3rd. So there's a lot of numbers, a lot of single-digit numbers in that span where there's only 2 outside of the top 10. And for Justin Allgaier, the returning champion, this is going to be a race in which, he's got track time now in the Cup car. He'll come and he'll have more track time in the O'Reilly Series car when he gets there. So, for him, once he gets behind the wheel of his own car, he's going to have enough time to feel comfortable behind the wheel of a car again. And Sammy Smith, he's going to jump in. He's going to be kind of cold. He's going to be a little bit tight and maybe not so responsive as Allgaier. And, you talk about people that want to work with other people. Allgaier has plenty of teammates out there, and every Chevrolet in the garage and in the stadium parking lot to help him out. So, Justin Allgaier and this is only minus 120. This is to me, I can't believe that it's priced the way it is because it should be somewhere in the minus 175, 180, if not 200 range. But you're getting it at a good price, and I think he's going to beat his teammate. If nothing else, even if they work together the whole race, Justin Allgaier is just going to be that much better at the end of it. So I think Justin Allgaier beats Sammy Smith at minus 120.
Well, Rod, Justin Allgaier just locked himself into the Daytona 500. So there is that. Corey Heim and Justin Allgaier locked in on speed. So congrats to him. But he will have that extra track time tomorrow, Thursday, of course, during the duels. before we get into Saturday's race. That'll give him an advantage, but he's obviously been great. So no arguments on that head-to-head from me.
Absolutely love that. Yeah. Good job, Justin Allgaier. And just good job, Corey Heim. We said to you in the actual episode, the Daytona, we said that Corey Heim was going to make some noise up in this one. So I'm glad that he's in the Daytona 500. I'm excited to see what he does. I'm excited to see him actually show people that he deserves to be in a cup car sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think we'll get him full-time probably next year, but we shall see.
Indeed. All right, Cody, you got some top fives for us.
Yeah, I got a couple of top fives. Top fives, decent numbers over here in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. At the time of recording, we don't have any top 10 plays yet, so stay tuned in the Discord, right? Maybe we'll get to those. But a guy that I love betting on when we come to super speedways, and really that's the only time he races, the owner of Jordan Anderson Racing, Jordan Anderson. He jumps in a car at these drafting tracks because, well, he's really good at the drafting tracks, and he comes out and makes a difference when he runs in them. So you can get him Bet365 8-1 to finish inside of the top 5. Now, here's what he's done for you lately, Rod. 7th place last February in his last start at Daytona. August of 24 before that, 6th place. February of 24 before that, 4th place. So his last 3 starts at Daytona have been 4th, 6th, and 7th place finishes. Pretty damn close to the top 5, obviously in the top 5 once. So if you get top 10 odds, we're certainly going to look at that. But even the top 5 odds, he continually puts himself in the conversation with a chance. So, yeah, and actually, the last 2 times he's raced here in the Truck Series, been a few years since he's done that. But the last 2 times he's raced here in the Truck Series, 2nd place in both races. So very good at the drafting track stuff. A veteran, been around a long time. If you don't know, he's actually Larry McReynolds' son-in-law. So he has all those connections. He's been doing this for a long time. Team owner, shows up in these races because this is when he can get it done. And he consistently puts himself in position to compete for these top 5. So Jordan Anderson, top 5, 8-1. And then break out the mustache, our guy, Dean Thompson, top 5 at 11-1, Rod. Great number for him. He's got 2 career starts in the O'Reilly Series all at Daytona, 7th and 8th place last year. Again, 2 starts, both inside of the top 10. Great runs for him. We saw some truck starts where he did really well as well. So that's all I have. I mean, there's not a long, extensive track record to look back on him, but he's 2 for 2 inside of the top 10. Really close to hitting these top 5s at 11-1 over on Bet365. I think the number's too big. So Jordan Anderson, top 5, 8-1. And Dean Thompson, top 5, 11-1.
I mean, I know that you had said and prefaced the entire thing saying that the cream usually rises to the top, but then we also have to remember that this is a super speedway, and that while the cream may rise to the top, there could be a little knife that can slice it right off and give everybody else a chance.
Yeah, I mean, you still get your crazy winners in this series even, and again, that's why we're going to have the long shots when we get to the winners. But you have different, even though a lot of times it is the cream that rises to the top, other guys mix in the top 5 and the top 10 and steal these other positions. Occasionally you'll get the Jeremy Clements of the world that win these Daytona races, stuff like that. So yeah, the long shots still very much in play despite O'Reilly being a little more chalky in a general sense at the top.
Indeed. I know that Hunter's saying Justin and Jesse top 5s should be locks. As much as a lock as there could be, I agree with you that they're both going to be running
for Daytona. Yes.
Yeah. But I'll also put a couple of other drivers randomly.
I saw LaJoy qualified 1 spot behind Allgaier. Obviously, I don't have the sound on. 0.004. Now, if he does not race his way in through the duel tomorrow, this 0.004 seconds is going to haunt him forever in that RFK ride. I'm going to be sweating the fuck out of that one tomorrow, Rob.
Remember when they had the stopwatches? Remember that? A stopwatch. Can you imagine 0.0004 on a stopwatch?
Yeah. Oh boy.
that would now be
all this digital timing. At least we know we got it right.
Yep. Well, and we can't get the spot of a football. I don't understand. Anyways, I tell you what, I'm gonna give you a couple of my favorite top 5 picks. I'm gonna do that. But first, I would like to take this opportunity to tell you all about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog's got you covered for pick'em for almost every single sport under the sun. Get in on Underdog and win up to 5,000 times your entry. Let's go back to the Olympics. How about Matty Mastro, the United States half piper in the snowboard event? I'm going to take her as a better than 3, and I'm going to put her on the podium. I'm going to give her at least a bronze medal in this actual event. She's entering the event in 3rd place after the qualifiers, so I think she can hang on to at least a spot on the podium. Love, oh my God, do I love snowboard half piping. It's so much fun. A lot like I like ski jumping, and I'm telling you right now, the Winter Olympics is just perfect for me because I love watching all kinds of crazy sports, and the Winter Olympics is full of it. So Maddie Mastro, we're going to give her a podium finish, put her better than 3.5, and just give her that medal. Give her the medal. Damn it. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5. Get $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACE, SGPN. Let's say about Rhythm. It's been on a heater for college and NBA picks. Super easy to sign up, run predictions off the house model, or make your own and play with the sliders. If you're looking to go premium, use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off of your first month. Download Rhythm, use promo code SGPN25.
Doesn't Brad Keselowski look like such a pimp out there with his cane rod?
Oh my God. I need him to have goldfish in his platform shoes. That's what I need. Full on pimp mode. So
and
Saturday
Hunter,
Night Live.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go.
Yeah. No,
I was just going to say Saturday Night Live had a fantastic skit about the Olympics where they were talking about this the luge, and the luge contestant was like, I was the right body type, and there was like literally just it was go check Saturday Night Live luge. You're gonna laugh your ass off.
That's great. Yeah, Hunter with a good point too. The 3 open drivers are in the top 10 still, so technically LaJoy not eliminated yet, but with the drivers that are still left to go, he's likely going to get bounced here, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that is true. All right. Speaking of top 5s, I am going to lock a couple of guys into the top 10. Then I'll kind of reach my way up to the top 5. And the top 10 bet I absolutely love because it's still plus money. It's still close to 1.5 to 1 for Creed and Kvapil to be in the top 10 at the end of the race. Sheldon Creed. You know how Pitbull is Mr. Worldwide. Well, Sheldon Creed is Mr. Second Place. So that is his designation, and he has been second in at least 2 of his career races at Daytona. But let's read off some of the spring finishes for Sheldon Creed at Daytona. 3rd place last year, 2nd place the year before that. Unfortunately, kind of ran into some bad luck in 2023, and that 2 car finished 34th, but a 6th place finish in 2022. In the spring race. So if you are counting overall, he's got 5 top 10 finishes in 9 starts. Last fall was not good to Sheldon Creed. He ended up finishing the 17th, but in that spring race, like I said, a 3rd place finish in the 00 in his first year as a 00. And it doesn't matter what Sheldon Creed drives. It doesn't matter if he's driving a Ford, a Chevy, a tricycle. That the guy will just pilot his car into a nice solid 2nd place finish just about every single place that he's at in every single type of vehicle that he's at. Now we're hoping that he ends up breaking that streak and ends up winning a race. May not be this time, but it is not far-fetched for Sheldon Creed to finish outside of the top 10 or inside of the top 10 rather in this particular race, especially in the spring race. So love him as a top 10. If you've listened to this show at all, if you've listened to and watched NASCAR at all, you just know that Sheldon Creed is that guy that is going to, it's not going to be sexy. He's not going to run the race. It's going to make people go, oh my God, look at how dominant Sheldon Creed is. He's just going to be there. And then at the end of the race, you're going to go, wait, was Sheldon Creed in the top 10 the whole time? And he's going to have been in the top 10 the whole time. He's going to be in 3rd place. In fact, he'll be in 2nd place. And you're just like, was he really there the whole time? And then you're just going to walk the race back and go, oh, he really was. What? How the hell did I miss that? That's Sheldon Creed.
That's what he does.
That's what he does. That's what he does. So he's going to be inside the top 10. That much I'm sure of. As far as Carson Kvapil's concerned, he's taken the green flag at Daytona twice in his career. He's finished top 10 in both of those as well. 4th place in the spring race and 10th place in the fall race. And, you know, Kvapil is now in that 1 car, and he's going to be in that 1 car the whole season long. Thank God we got that cleared up. We didn't try to shuffle him around in different cars, but you know, again, with that level of confidence, right? We saw him just sort of develop into the guy that with Connor Zilisch being the brightest light in the JRM camp out there, it was hard for Carson Kvapil to sort of soak up any of the sun, especially with Justin Allgaier kind of hanging right there as well, casting a shadow over the team. But now that Connor Zilisch is essentially gone, right? Carson Kvapil can shine a little more, and Justin Allgaier is going to be that stalwart guy that he's going to be. But Carson Kvapil is good enough to be a top 10 driver. You think of all the guys that he's got to draft with now. You think of all the folks that are in his camp already, right? So for me, that's a no-brainer, right? And both these guys at plus 145, again, if we were putting confidence levels on this one, this would be the highest confidence level that I could have. And then I'm going to kind of kick this up a notch and put it both in the top 5. I just read you their statistics, right? Sheldon Creed, perennial top 3 finisher on this track. And then Carson Kvapil had a top 5 in his only spring start on this track. So let's put them both in the top 5. It's 9-1 for both of these cars to be in the top 5. JRM should be dominant all day long. That's the team to beat, right? So we know that Sheldon Creed finishing second place. If Carson Kvapil can kind of finish right up there too again, then you've got yourself a 9-1 bet. I love this one too, but I really love the top 10. Top 5 was sort of like a sprinkle on the top.
I like it, Rod. No arguments from me. I'm going to jump over to a group over on Bet365. You can get Jeb Burton in Group C, plus 275. He's going up against Raja Caruth, Gio Ruggiero, and William Sawalich. The reason I love Jeb Burton in this group is he is the crusty veteran that's in this group, really, against a bunch of young guns, and it just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I mean, Raja is a rookie in the Xfinity O'Reilly series, actually. He's a rookie in the O'Reilly series, Rod, with only a few Xfinity starts is where I was going. To his name before this, Gio, I think this is actually his first Xfinity start, O'Reilly start, rather. I did it again, damn it. It's so hard to break. It's so hard to break these habits. But in William Sawalich, I love the kid, right? He made us a ton of money at the end of last year and beginning of last year when we faded him, but he's still young. He's still got a lot to learn. And you put Jeb in here. Now, Jeb, like Austin Hill, not been the best at Daytona. Talladega is definitely his playground. That's where he shows up big time. But he's a guy that's going to find himself in the mix. You're going to see him up front all day. You're going to see him jockeying for position. And I just trust him more. So he's got finishes of 20th, 16th, 17th, a 26th sprinkled in there, but then 12th, 11th, the last couple before that. 4th place twice here in 2021, so he's definitely capable of it. 6th place at Atlanta last year, and top 10 at 4 of the last 5 Talladega starts. So in a general sense, putting it all together, an experienced multi-time winner on drafting tracks in the, at the time, Xfinity Series, now the O'Reilly Series. So I just trust Jeb Burton to get it done over these young guys that we just don't know a lot about. We haven't seen them do it a ton. They don't have the experience he does. So give me Jeb Burton, Group C on Bet365, plus 275. That's over Raja Caruth, Gio Ruggiero, and William Sawalich.
So I do like this. I do like this from a standpoint of if there was something to happen, you're right, Jeb would find his way through that better, I think. And he's not willing to put himself into a lot of harm, whereas some of these other guys, just like you were talking about with Gio Ruggiero, he's making his first career O'Reilly Series start, right? And he's making his first start in the series above the Truck Series. So for him, but he's making it in the 19. So here's where I'll go on with that, because I have Ruggiero as a top 5 as well at plus 350 over on Caesars. And I do this because, like you said, Cody, he's a rookie. He's making his very first start up in the upper series. But in the Truck Series, in his very first start at Daytona in the spring, he got a second place finish. Started 34th, finished in second. So there's a little bit of drafting that Ruggiero was able to do in that Gilliland truck, in the 17 truck, in the ThorSport truck. Like there's something to be said about not ThorSport. This is the 2311. This is 2311 in Trackhouse all over again, but it's a Truck Series. I should not get paid to talk anymore.
They do both start with T's, and they're both very good. So I get confusing the two of them.
In the Trackhouse truck. No, really, honestly. So for him, he's starting in Gibbs equipment, right? He's starting in the 19. This isn't like he's starting in the 52. It's not like he's starting in the 51. Like he's starting in one of the best cars out there. He was one of the better drivers toward the end of the season in the Truck Series. We were talking about him almost as much as we were talking about Corey Heim, because he was hanging around Corey Heim, right? And that's one of the things where we were like, oh, hey, Gio Ruggiero, we can't really ignore him anymore. Top 5 truck for sure. Somebody we got to keep an eye on. Granted, this is a much different playing field. This is going to be a lot of different guys that are around him, but he's still in a Toyota camp that has a stacked level of people that he can draft with, right? I mean, it's not as many as the Chevys. Let's not get that twisted. But I mean, all these Joe Gibbs Toyotas are going to be fast. All these Joe Gibbs Toyotas are going to be people that he's got to hang with, right? Taylor Gray is out there for him to draft with, and that's going to be somebody to keep at. Williams Walsh, you just talked about. Like, those guys are going to be good drafting partners. And I think Gio Ruggiero could find himself, especially at the end of the race, in a position, if he keeps himself clean, to be a top car. Again, it's kind of a long shot, but at plus 350, I feel like it's a long shot worth taking.
Yeah, I like it. Look, we've seen the talent out of the kid, and taking Burton over him in that group isn't a fade on Ruggiero at all, because I think he's great. It's just playing with the veteran in the group, but I don't mind betting both of these. Maybe you hit one, you don't hit the other one, that's fine, or maybe you end up hitting both if the cards fall exactly right. You never know, but yeah, I do like this one, and I do think the JGR cars are going to be the fastest cars out there, as they tend to be. Okay, maybe the second fastest in this race. RCR might have that leg up on everybody in this one, but that's okay. Let's head over to the top manufacturer market, one of my favorite places on the drafting tracks in particular. We're going to go to Chevrolet. Now, we've obviously commented on it multiple times. A majority of this field is Chevrolet, so it's going to be tough. You know, in the Cup Series, you could luck into a 10th, 11th place finish, be the top Chevy. Probably not the case here, but if we were to get a Ford or a Toyota to win and your Chevy finishes second, third, maybe even fourth, fifth, depending on the train of guys up front, right? You could still cash one of these bets. So found three guys in the Chevy market that I like, and I think they're all at appropriate numbers. Top of the board, Carson Hocevar. 12-1, I think, is a great number for Hocevar. Obviously, I talked him up a lot on the Daytona 500 show, if you haven't listened to that. But I love this kid. He's been great. O'Reilly starts, rather, at Daytona. That's what I was trying to go for there. But in the Truck Series, 12th, 9th, 4th, 12th, 9th, and 5th, rather, in 3 starts. So those were really good. And he had that 11th place finish here in the Cup Series. You know, half a second away from winning at Atlanta last year in the Cup Series if they pushed the caution light just a little bit later as that wreck is happening. So been good on these. He's obviously one of the few Cup drivers in this race. I think he's got a leg up there. And the Young Motorsports cars are good. That's when Spencer Boyd hit that 125, 150 to 1 for me back. I think it was 2019 when he won at Talladega. That was a Young Motorsports truck. They are capable of winning these types of races. We've seen the Young Motorsports cars be fine at the super speedways. So Hocevar top Chevy, 12-1. Anthony Alfredo, who's formerly piloted the Young's Motorsports car, 28-1 for Fast Pasta. What are we doing? It's been a couple of rough starts the last couple times out at Daytona for him. He had some engine trouble, some other stuff. But 8th place here in the fall of 2023. He had a 7th place finish here in 2022. When they ran the super speedway package a couple of years, was that 2 years ago when they did it at Michigan, at Indy? He was great at both of those races. And he's got an opportunity. He's going to have to race his way in through tomorrow's duels, but he's in the 62 car for the Cup Series. So he's going to have that dual practice that we talked about with Allgaier earlier that he'll have tomorrow in those races. So you like that. And if you look back at his O'Reilly starts, while a couple of bad finishes, he finishes inside of the top 10 in the stages in every single start. It seems like he's always mixing it up near the front, has a shot at it. If he can avoid the chaos, 28-1 to be the top finishing Chevy, I think, is a great number. And then Jordan Anderson is 50-1. I just told you a couple minutes ago that Jordan Anderson's last couple of finishes here, Rod, are 7th, 6th, and 4th. Could that be the top finishing Chevy at 50-1? He doesn't even have to win the race. While he's possibly, you could cash it by winning. But, you know, let's say he gets edged out at the line by Gio Ruggiero. Well, you can still cash a 50-1 on him for finishing second place, which he's done the last 2 times he started the truck race. 50-1 to be top Chevy for Jordan Anderson. Way too big of a number, I think. So Hocevar 12-1, Alfredo 28-1, Anderson 50-1. Those are my top Chevy darts.
I'm telling you, we've seen it a lot. We've seen all these long shots kind of flip into it and get there. I do agree with you. This is okay. This is a monumentous event. Somebody write this down. I agree that 12-1 on Hocevar to be the top Chevy is a misprice.
Rod just said he is a breaking news from the news desk. Rod Villagomez, major Carson Hocevar fan. Rod, can we get a word from you?
I just want to say that this year, no, listen, I just feel like 12-1 is a misprice for top Chevy because if there's somebody that can upset the apple cart, it will be Carson Hocevar. It will be. He's got nothing. He's nothing to prove in the O'Reilly series right now, because obviously his attention's on the Cup series. He'll be running a lot of Truck Series races. He'll be running a lot of things. But the path for him to be the top Chevy is not 12-1. I feel like this should be a lot shorter than that. So, yes, that's a misprice. I will tell you that is one worth betting on Hocevar. Oh, that was so hard, and that might be the last good thing you hear me say about him. But
and you think about the Chevy, like obviously Hill and Love are in that group, right? Allgaier, the other JRM shit. Like Chevy is not by any means an easy group to win, being a majority of the field, but Hill's had plenty of problems recently. Other guys can have problems. We've seen all 4 JRM cars take each other out at the same time. So, it's possible. And I think the numbers are big enough to warrant it. And it covers you if one of the 3 Fords wins or some of the handful of Toyotas wins. And even if they win and they're still the top Chevy and you win anyways.
And hell, I mean, there could be a late caution that shakes up the whole damn thing. And all of a sudden, here comes Carson Hocevar from the back, rolling through. Hunter likes Carson more on the trucks.
Well, stay tuned for tomorrow's show. I have a feeling, I haven't set the picks yet, Rod, but there's a decent chance Carson Hocevar will definitely show up at tomorrow's show.
He will.
Who are we fooling?
We're not fooling anybody, Cody. Anybody that's listened to this show for 10 minutes knows Carson Hocevar is going to show up. So,
by the way, officially, congratulations to Corey Heim and Justin Allgaier. Corey LaJoie has been bumped out of the top 10. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has locked his car into the Daytona 500 via Justin Allgaier, and Corey Heim locked in as well. So those 2 guys locked in. Now, if you have bets action on them, they're guaranteed to start the Daytona 500. The final 2 spots will be determined tomorrow in the duels.
I have a feeling that some 2 guys told you that those guys were going to be among.
I think I had LaJoie, but yeah, I mean, Heim was the next. If it wasn't LaJoie, Heim I thought would be there. But both thought Allgaier was definitely locking in on speed. So, congrats to him.
Indeed. All right. How about Sam Mayer, his former teammate at JRM back in the O'Reilly series, formerly Xfinity series, formerly Busch series, formerly whatever. But so the Nationwide series. Sam Mayer, here's what I don't get. And I don't know if they weren't watching or if they don't feel like Sam Mayer is not going to do this again. But Sam Mayer top 3 is at plus 450. Sam Mayer over the last couple of races, especially since he's driven that Ford, right? That Haas machine. 2nd place in the spring, 5th place in the fall. He started on the outside pole in the fall, by the way, ended up finishing in 5th place. So, yeah, okay, top 3. He hasn't finished it in both Daytona races that he's been in that Haas equipment. But for God's sakes, right? Sam Mayer is one of those guys where it's not sexy. Again, it's a lot like Sheldon Creed. It's a lot like his teammate, Sheldon Creed. It's not going to be sexy. It's not going to be something that you're going to make yourself run to the television to see. But Sam Mayer is a talented race car driver and can drive on just about any single track configuration that's out there, right? We've seen him do good on road courses. We've seen him do good on super speedways. We've seen him do good on 1.5 miles, intermediates, like all the things that you expect a driver to do. Guess what? Sam Mayer does it. Like, he didn't do it in JRM equipment, which I suppose you say if you're going to do it, you're going to do it in JRM equipment. But 12th place, 30th, 34th, 27th, 19th, 36th, 13th. But think about it this way, right? Sam Mayer was sort of the, I would probably venture to say 3rd, if not sometimes 4th driver in that JRM stable after Allgaier and then Jones a lot of times in there as well. And then the 8 car, whoever was driving the 8 car at the time, like, yeah, Sammy Smith was sort of an afterthought in that situation. But in the Haas equipment, it's Creed and it's Mayer, right? You got nobody but your 2 kids to pay attention to, and you don't have to split attention 4 ways, right? And if you're a parent, you know that splitting attention 2 ways is tough, but 4 ways is almost impossible. Some kid's going to fall and break their leg, and you're not going to know until next week after you check on them. So that's not the case at Haas. Sam Mayer's got attention, and he's got success now at Daytona with that number 41 car, which I think he can equal again in this race. And a top 3 for a guy that did it last year in his equipment at plus 450, I feel like is a giant misprice. So I'm all over Sam Mayer. I'm hoping that he gets in the top 3 in this race.
Yeah, I think he can certainly have a good day. TK pointing out new manufacturer. They're switching from Ford to Chevrolet. Yes and no with the new manufacturer. They've been with Chevy previously. Haas was in both the Cup and Xfinity, I think it was at the time. And they switched to Ford in both, but they've switched back to Chevy now in both. I don't think that'll be too much of a hiccup. They've worked with Chevy before. You're plugging into clearly the dominant manufacturer in this series. I wouldn't expect there to be too many bumps. Mayer himself has driven Chevrolets just a couple of years ago when he was with JRM. And Creed as well, actually, was with Chevrolet when he was with RCR. So they both worked with Chevy already. They kind of know the deal. Haas has worked with Chevy as well. I don't really see many speed bumps as far as that transition for them.
I do not as well. All right. Speaking of speed bumps, we've got some in the top Toyota market, and a couple of guys are going to clear those.
Yeah, so top Toyota markets is a pretty small market. There is not very many Toyotas in this race, which for this bet makes it a lot easier, because if you take the Toyotas, and Rod, there are exactly 5 Toyotas in this race. 5, yeah, 4, 5. There's 5. 5 Toyotas in this race, which is Taylor Gray, Brandon Jones, Harrison Burton, William Swalich, Dean Thompson. That's your 5 Toyotas. So what I'm going to do is pick 2 of them that I really like, and they're actually 2 of the 3 longest shots. And now those 2 guys only have to beat 3 other drivers in this entire race, a field of 40 cars, and they can cash this for you. So Chevy, if you don't finish in the top 5, most likely you're not cashing the top Chevy bet. You're certainly not cashing the top Toyota bet as a Chevy. Well, Caesars might offer you some of the wrong ones. Who knows? They've been known to list the wrong people. Anyways, so you just got to go out and beat these other guys. So the 2 guys I'm taking, Harrison Burton, plus 320 over on Caesars to be the top finishing Toyota. And Dean Thompson, you can get him at plus 550. He's actually the longest shot for the top Toyota. I've already talked about Dean Thompson. Great runs. And I mean, you tell me he's going to go finish 7th or 8th? Could he be the top Toyota and just beat these other 4 guys? Absolutely. And really, you only need him to beat 3, because if Harrison beats him, then fine. You just cash out on him anyways. So for that part of it, you love it. But Harrison Burton, we talked about him at the top of the show, maybe being a little bit of an underrated race car driver. Don't forget, he just won a Cup Series race at Daytona 2 years ago. That's not that long ago for, again, a disappointing Cup career overall, yes. But he's been great in the O'Reilly Series. We saw it with Joe Gibbs Racing before he moved up to the Cup Series. He came back down, and look at how much he elevated that AM racing program last year. I mean, got him into the playoffs, had a great season with the team. Now he goes back to Toyota, a place where he's actually was more comfortable in this series, at least, with the JGR days. And Sam Hunt continues to step up. These are actually the 2 Sam Hunt cars that I'm taking over the JGR cars. But Harrison's been great. That Cup Series win, 16th place here in the fall with AM Racing. But before that, his other 5 starts in Daytona in this series, 6th, 9th, 3rd, 5th, and 2nd. That's all of his starts. So outside of the 16th place in the fall with AM Racing and a Ford, when there wasn't a lot of Fords in the field, now granted, I guess there's not a lot of Toyotas either, but it's been all good for Harrison Burton. That's what I expect again. And again, you look at the other drivers in this. I love Brandon Jones. I couldn't find a way to bet on him, but good potential at drafting tracks, but it's not always there. Taylor Gray can be hit and miss, and William Swalich. Those are the only 3 guys these guys have to beat. This is a great market, I think. So Harrison Burton plus 320, Dean Thompson plus 550. We'll take the 2 Sam Hunt Toyotas to beat the 3 JGR Toyotas. You just need one of them to beat the other ones. So yes, I will ride with those guys.
And it could be that the Gibbs Toyotas decide to try to hang out the AM guys, or the Sam Hunt guys rather, and then the Sam Hunt guys are like, nope, I'm going to hook up with a couple of Chevys and jet right past you. So yeah, I mean, it could happen that fast. This is not a market that's completely out of the realm of possibility because of just the way pack racing is and drafting racing is. So I do love this, especially at the price that they're at. So go grab it. All right, I'm back to my winning car number ways. I'm going to take the winning car number as odd, minus 115. It's a loaded odd stack, right? You got Kvapil, you've got yourself Justin Allgaier, you've got Corey Day in that one as well. You've got Austin Hill. I know you don't get Jesse Love in that one, which is unfortunate, but we'll cover him in another way. But you got Sam Mayer in that camp as well. You've got a lot of heavy hitters in the odd camp. So I'm going to take my chances on odd and roll with it because, like I said, really the top part of that is where you get sort of congested in there. And Justin Allgaier alone, I'll give you it. but I feel like if he doesn't do it, then, there's a couple of other odd guys that are going to get a chance to do it. And odd and even are both minus 115. So if you feel like you want to take the even side of it on that's fine. But I personally like the odd side because both of the guys that I'm going to give out as outrights are odd. And I really love one of them. So, that's where I'm going with.
They are odd guys. You also get Austin Hill in this. I mean, big time favorite in this one, obviously. I have shown you earlier how it's not been good lately, but he's definitely won here before. So, there is that. So, no argument from me. Again, I'm not going to argue with you on the winning car number very much. TK checking back in says Burton is certainly good. Just think Sanchez has more potential. You might be right there. I will say that. I just think current talent levels, what we've seen, I'll give the edge to Burton certainly, but potential-wise, Sanchez, I think there is some untapped potential there. Sour D checking in as well.
What's up,
Good to
Sour D?
see you, buddy. How's it going, Sour D?
Good to see you. All right, well, somebody's going to end up winning this race, Cody.
Somebody's going to win this race. I'm going to give you enough bets that hopefully we hit them. But again, I've got one guy that's more of a favorite on the board. Outside of that, it's all long shots. Take your unit or two, shotgun spray it like our buddy Phil says, and cover a lot of different guys that have the potential to win this race. That's what we're looking for. Different guys who have the potential to go out and win this race. That's what I want. And it starts with Jesse Love. Plus 650 over on the score, formerly ESPN Bet. That is a great number. I documented again at the top of the show how I think he's been better than Austin Hill, who's at a shorter number than he is. Fourth here in the fall. He won this race last year, 21st and 20th in the first two starts here, but he's figured it out since then. He's got that win at Talladega previously, along with a 3rd, 6th, and 10th place finish in his last 4 starts there. So he's been a solid super speedway guy. Love at plus 650. Carson Hocevar at 16-1. Of course, I'm going to be taking him in all 3 series. We don't need to beat that horse anymore. 16-1, a great number for Hocevar. Seems to be pretty consensus on a lot of different sites for him there. Harrison Burton over on DraftKings. You can get him at 28-1. I think that's a great number. We just talked about how good he's been. Cup Series winner. The only guy in this field, I would argue, just off a glimpse, that has a Cup Series win even, just in general, but he's done it at Daytona. I think, looking through the field, I don't see anybody else that has a Cup Series win. So only guy in the field with a Cup Series win, and it was a Cup Series win at Daytona, and it was just 2 years ago. All pretty good things for a guy at 28-1 on DraftKings. Fast Pasta, we're not leaving him off the dock. 55-1 over on DraftKings for Anthony Alfredo. Talked about him earlier. Had some ups and downs, but certainly a good driver. Jordan Anderson, 3 top 10 finishes in a row, 2 second-place finishes in a row in the Truck Series. He is 55-1 as well over on DraftKings. Dean Thompson, as low as 40-1 in some places, Rod. This is why we tell you time and time again, shop around. The score has Dean Thompson at 80-1. With that mustache, sign me up. Look at this man. Look at that mustache. Tell me you don't want to bet on Dean Thompson, Rod. You can't do it. Give me Dean Thompson at 80-1. And then, out of left field, we haven't talked about him all night. There's been no reason to talk about him. He has 0 career starts in the O'Reilly Series on a super speedway. This is a complete dart from the heavens because I like the kid, because I want a 250-1 sweat. My boy, our boy on this show, Austin Green. I love him. Look, his dad, his uncle, the Greens. You know the Greens, right? Jeff Green. All those guys were I can't remember any of their names now. David is the other one I was thinking of. David, I believe, is his father, but Jeff Green, they have all the experience. They can give him all the wisdom. We've seen him do it on the road courses. He's already made us a ton of money. At 250-1, what if we just get absolute chaos? It's madness. There's 8 cars limping around at the end of 6 overtimes, and Austin Green takes it to the house. 250-1? Come on, Rod. Let's have some fun. And if you really want to have fun, I made a trip to the casino earlier today, and I parlayed Carson Hocevar to win all 3 races. The kiosk would not let me put $10 down. It said the payout was too large, Rod. So I had to go with $5. But he is, if you parlay him over on Caesars, plus 861,800 to win all 3 races. That would be a $10 bet that pays $86,000. It is highly unlikely, hence the odds. But I will be rooting for it, and I love me a just obnoxious parlay. One day I will hit one of these, and it will be much celebrated.
See, now here's the thing, right? You either buy yourself a Jimmy John's Pickle Witch or you try to win $86,000, right? I feel like that $10, you know what I'd do though? I'd go buy the Pickle Witch because that's just me.
Well, this
At
you're
least
not
I
getting
know
much
I can
return. In the moment, it's great, but there's no imagine he wins the Truck Series, and then he goes out and somehow wins in O'Reilly. Now all he has to do is win at Daytona. I mean, Daytona 500 not easy to win, but it's so extremely unlikely. It's not really good betting advice. I'm just telling you that I did it, and it's fun, and it's a fun bet to make. So let's have some fun.
I'm looking right now. I'm staring at the qualifying efforts of the drivers, and I see Jimmy Johnson is one spot ahead of Carson Hocevar in 29th spot. So
I bet Carson Hocevar makes more money than Jimmy Johnson does this week, Rod. Since
Jimmy Johnson makes more money sitting in his freaking pajamas at home.
Well, I guess he owns two of the cars too, so that's
thank you very much.
He's not winning purse money for himself. Just to recap quickly, Jesse Love plus 650 on the score. Carson Hocevar 16-1 many places. Harrison Burton 28-1 on DraftKings. Anthony Alfredo 55-1 on DraftKings. Jordan Anderson 55-1 on DraftKings. Dean Thompson 80-1 on the score. Austin Green 250-1. That's also available most places.
Indeed. All right, I just got two bullets for the outrights here, and one is Justin Allgaier at 9-1. I don't feel like Justin Allgaier should be 9-1 to win this race. Granted, I know he's only got one win at all at Daytona, and that came in the fall race of 2023. However, it's Justin Allgaier, and if I haven't painted a positive enough picture of Justin Allgaier, especially on this particular track in the spring, then I haven't done a good job of convincing you at all. So Justin Allgaier, I feel like, is mispriced at 9-1 to win this race. You can find that on Hard Rock, in fact. So definitely love the 9-1 for Justin Allgaier. The reigning mid-series, the returning champion in the O'Reilly series, how's that? Is going to win the first race.
That would be Jesse Love, Rob.
Jesus H. Cody, will you stop me from making mistakes like that? You need to anticipate.
I wanted to watch you trip through O'Reilly Xfinity. Justin Allgaier is the 2024 NASCAR Xfinity Series champion, but looking to return to the top spot, and this new format sets up pretty well for Mr. Allgaier.
See the trolls now. Rod doesn't even know who won the championship last year. God, I don't even know what I had for dinner last night, let alone who won. But yeah, Justin Allgaier plus 900. Absolutely feel like that is the right pick. Dirty Reg saying that's who I'm picking is Allgaier. Good company, my friend. But if he doesn't, how about the 17 car? You want to talk about a long shot? How about Mr. Day? Young man that is going to make huge waves, I think, in the O'Reilly series. Corey Day, he is the next anointed one, the next Kyle Larson, the man that is also emblazoned in the Hendrick Motorsports livery. So, look, or the Hendrick Motorsports or HendrickCars.com livery. That 17 car is going to make some noise, right? And you know that Hendrick does not just slap his name on anybody. He did it with Kyle Larson, and great things happened with him. The thing about it is this is going to take a lot of insanity, I think, because Day obviously doesn't have much super speedway experience, because he didn't race a whole lot in the Xfinity series last year or the truck series as well, but a really solid run down the back end of the truck series last year in Nashville, 5th place, in IRP, 2nd place, 9th place at Darlington, 11th place at Bristol. So a good blistering set of top 10s or close to top 10s. We know the kid's talented, right? We know he's got a lot to offer the entirety of JRM, of Hendrick, of all of this guys that are out there racing right now. And for me, I'm just going to take a chance that he's actually, that's not even JRM, but right?
It's JRM.
It's JRM. Who are we kidding?
It's a Hendrick car, but it's a JRM car.
Yeah, right. We're
like the JRM car in the Cup Series is a Hendrick car.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's just kind of we're mincing words here if we're talking about who they are. But anyways, the power underneath that hood, the who he has as a sponsor, the talent that he has to drive, like, it's not far-fetched to me, especially at 40-1, to see him really just claiming his first victory on a super speedway and just kicking off what should be a fantastic season for Corey Day. So Yeah, I mean, look, he's got the best in the business backing him up. I feel like there's a 40-1 is a misprice for him as well, just because of the inexperience. But Cody, inexperience can still win in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
Yeah, we've definitely seen it, especially a track like Daytona. I don't know. I'm not in yet on day. We'll see. But I do love the Allgaier pick. He's been good. Sour D asking if Hill's just been banned. Not been banned, but we talked earlier. Last 3 runs here, 25th, 33rd, 31st. Now, granted, he won 2 of the 3 races before that, and he's obviously very good. 5 of the last 6 he's won at Atlanta, which is insane. But just, I think there's better options out there when he's so short. Not saying he couldn't win. Certainly we could see that. The odds are not worth it this week. If we get the same odds next week, he's won 5 of the last 6. It might be hard not to roll with him at those short of odds, even on a drafting track. We'll cross that bridge when we get to Atlanta. Let's get through Daytona first, but not banned. Just feel like there's value other places.
That bridge is not going to be as nice to us this next week as it was this week. I guarantee you. The books know. They listen to the show. They know. They can't do that. They're going to get squashed.
I'll be very interested to see. And we'll see how he performs this week. I think if he doesn't do well this week, it might leave his number at decent next week. If he's good at all this week, winning 5 of the last 6 at Atlanta, he might be minus 110 at a super speedway, which would be insane.
Indeed. All right. Well, thanks for hanging with us through this Super Speedway edition. Obviously, Super Speedway is running a little bit longer than most, but get out your pen and paper. Time to go over our picks for the United Rentals 300 from the Daytona International Speedway, kicking off the 2026 O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, the inaugural one. I gave you Justin Allgaier over his teammate Sammy Smith at minus 120. I also gave you Sheldon Creed and Carson Kvapil to both be top 10 cars at plus 145. And then to be both top 3 cars at 9-1. I gave you Gio Ruggiero, top 5 in his first O'Reilly Auto Parts Series start at plus 350. Sam Mayer, top 3 at plus 450. I said the winning car number would be odd at minus 115. Gave you Justin Allgaier at 9-1 and Corey Day at 40-1 rather to win the race. Cody, if you guys want to screenshot this one, you're going to need to. Jesse Love over Austin Hill, plus 125. He also gave you Jordan Anderson as a top 5 car at 8-1. And Dean Thompson, Mr. Mustache himself, top 5 at 11-1. Gave you Jeb Burton to win Group C, which consists of Raja Karuth, Gio Ruggiero, and William Sawalich. He also gave you the top Chevy. He gave you Hocevar as an option at 12-1, Anthony Alfredo at 28-1, Jordan Anderson at 50-1. Top Toyota market, Harrison Burton at plus 320, Dean Thompson plus 550. And then the outrights, Jesse Love plus 650, Carson Hocevar 16-1, Harrison Burton 28-1, Anthony Alfredo 55-1, Anderson 55-1, Dean Thompson 80-1, and Green 250-1.
We'll be seeing some Green if Green wins.
Oh my God. Seeing more. I'm surprised that the kiosk will let you even put that at $1, to be honest with you. And they're like, nope, payout's too big. Got to go 50 cents.
I have run into that issue before. I tried building a parlay. It's a $5 minimum bet on the kiosk. And then the payout was too big. And I'm like, well, you won't let me bet less. So we had an issue there, but you know,
apparently you won't let me bet. So whatever, man. It's all good.
It's
all right. Well then, Cody, let's let everybody go catch the rest of qualifying.
Yeah, the final round is about to get underway of qualifying over on FS1. So going for the Daytona 500 pole and front row will be Kyle Busch, Chase Briscoe, Ryan Preece, Denny Hamlin, Alex Bowman, Kyle Larson, Corey Heim, Chris Buescher, Chase Elliott, and Joey Logano. So we still have the 3 of the 4 Hendrick drivers. Byron did not make the final round, but we've got Bowman, Larson, and Elliott left as far as our qualifying bets. So let's go sweat that out and be back tomorrow, talk the truck series. And make sure you join the Discord, sg.pn/Discord. Generally, between Wednesday night and Thursday, we will get dual odds for the duels. And usually it's just outrights, but we'll certainly be betting on that. And there is DFS contests for both duels. So we'll have those over in the Discord as well. sg.pn/Discord. And just a reminder, we'll recap the entire weekend. I mean, it'll be mostly Cup focused, obviously, but we'll talk about the O'Reilly and Truck Series races as well. And Discord is where you'll be able to call into those shows. So join the Discord, sg.pn/Discord. Get familiar over there. You're going to want to do that.
Indeed, you will. All right. Well, then, Cody, as we sweat this out, remind everybody where they can keep an eye on you on social media and beyond.
Yep. Follow me over on the X at @Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff over there. Plenty of it. Best of luck, Rod. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Indeed. Follow me on Twitter, RJ Villagomez. You can find everything that I am up to over there as well. Again, we'll catch you in the Discord overnight and into tomorrow. Join us tomorrow for the Truck Series as we break down Daytona in the Truck Series. So until then, everybody, we'll see you tomorrow. Have fun with us and join us in our quest to make NASCAR betting fun again. And until then, let's go racing and let it ride.